Good morning, afternoon, evening, or night, my beautiful whispers. How are you all doing? I hope you all are having a wonderful time, and welcome to this little Q&A video. We're doing this because of the 3-year anniversary of my channel, and over the last week you guys have sent in 35 amazing questions. I'm not counting the questions that have been repeated multiple times or that are very similar. Those are now, put into one. Either way, let's start with just the first question and see how this goes. The first question is, how are you? And to that I have to say I'm pretty well. I've been studying a lot and internship has been a little heavy on me, but I'm finally done with that and I'm looking forward to a wonderful summer with friends and lots of free time to make new audios and new projects for you all. Now on to the second question. What has made you decide to become an ASMR voice actor? So that's a bit of a story. I've always liked making stories, and I've basically since I was a kid been telling them to friends and little when you're children and you roleplay little scenarios. I was doing it all the time. Eventually, when you're older, you aren't really allowed to do that anymore, and I couldn't put my creativity anywhere. Don't get me wrong, writing is fun, but it takes a long time to write a novel, and short stories were not my thing at the time. Then I started listening to ASMR roleplays, and I really enjoyed them. I met some awesome people, including an ASMR roleplay creator at the time, and they were like, why aren't you gonna try this? So, 3 years ago I did, and I haven't stopped since. So yeah, that's basically why, to just leave a mark on the world, to do something nice for people, as well as to get all these stories out of my head, because I have too many of them! Getting a story idea is not the problem. The how does that end is the problem for me. But I'll get into that later. There was a question about this too. Now, as for the next question. Have you ever thought about quitting before? Again, a bit of a complex answer, but kinda, not really, sorta, half. Okay. So, no, I've never wanted to fully quit YouTube. I love this, I love doing these videos, I love making these stories. However, sometimes life gets really tough, and in those moments I'm like, why am I doing this again? But then I see everyone's lovely comments and I'm like, yeah, that's why, because I want to make good stories for you. And then having that consistency and that schedule really helps me, and it just makes me very happy. Now, for the fourth question, are there any audios in particular that have been fun to make or to record? Well, fun to record were definitely the airy videos. There's 2 videos about a little arachnid kid that I have discontinued due to private reasons, but I really liked making those videos. The little voice and the hyperactive energy are just so much fun to get into, and I've immortalized her too. She is now a D&D character in one of my games. I also really enjoyed making Tale of Blood, although it was a nightmare and I made many writing mistakes. I am very happy with how the process went and what it taught me. One other one that was fun to make on the editing basis was actually my most recent video about a witch girlfriend. I really enjoyed the weird daisy little echoey effect that I gave when the flowers were affecting the listener character. It was really fun to do that and figure out what works, what doesn't, how does that affect the bird sound effect, and just sound effects in general are fun, though I have to work with it. This leads me into my 5th question, which is the favorite audio I've ever made, like my favorite. For this one I'm gonna have to go with this year's April Fool's video, which was me doing a lot of weird noises as a little creature. I loved making it, it is very funny to listen to, I have had wonderful reaction, and it's just been a blast, and it's definitely my favorite. Now, as for the 6th question, am I ever planning to get my hands on a 3DO or any other stereo microphone, and maybe starting to play with more tingly stuff every once in a while? Not for the foreseeable future. As much as I respect the people who do that, and I know that ASMR technically is supposed to be tingly, this is really more audio roleplay stuff, and it's about the story and the characters. I never really enjoyed listening to ASMR with the tingles and the whispers, and I don't quite know how to do it. I might in the future, but for now I'm perfectly content with what I'm doing. Number 7 is actually one that was based on a discussion in my D&D server, which is, what is the kind of music that I like listening to? There's 2 things. One is my most recent obsession, Electro Swing. I have been enjoying it, it's happy, it's upbeat, it has dancey vibes, I really like it, and I listen to that a lot. However, my heart and soul will always belong to musicals. Musical songs have such great story and so much character to them, and I love them. My current obsession with musicals is actually the project called Epic. It's based upon the Odyssey, and it's a really cool musical project that is currently run on YouTube. I'll link it down below. I would love for you all to show the creator some love, and it's really fun. It has great songs, the singers are amazing, I love the voices in it. I really like Hermes' song a lot, which is called Wouldn't You Like, but also like Poseidon's song, Ruthlessness, it is so good. And then you have like the Underworld Saga, which is, I could geek out about this forever, so we're gonna move on. The next question. Have you ever thought about doing collabs with other ASMR/audio roleplay content creators? I have, and I've actually worked together with other creators before. However, my issue with reaching out to people is I'm shy. I'm really, really shy, and I always feel a little awkward reaching out to people. And it's something I've done before and something I would like to do more in the future of, but I need to get a bit more confidence first. I feel like that is not just fair towards me, but also towards the creators I would work together with. Question number 9. What do you like to do in your free time? I do actually a lot in my free time. I draw frequently, I also write little stories for myself, and I love reading books. I've currently been reading The Starless Sea, I've recently finished The Iron Widow, and there's just a lot of books on my to-be-read list. I also have some really wonderful friends, which I have been playing some games with recently, which has also been really fun. I might honestly stream that on my Discord server at some point. Next to playing games and reading, I do sports. I am a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu at the moment, and I train 2 times a week. I also like cooking, though I don't do that as frequently after I almost burnt the kitchen down by making water boil while trying to make boiled eggs. How I pulled it off? No one knows. Literally no one knows. But I did it. But yeah, I do a lot of stuff. I'm always very busy. Number 10. Do I listen to other ASMR channels? I occasionally do. I really like channels like Escaped and Sight Audios, who have both been really inspirational to me for, more story-driven stuff. But I also really like the Comfort channel sometimes, and I even listen to female creators because they are also really fun to listen to. Seriously, I love listening to everyone's voices, but I don't always enjoy all of the tropes in our genre, and currently with the rise of yanderes in especially female areas, it's been a bit tough finding some good female creators. So if you know anyone, please link them down below in the comments, I'd love to see it. This leads me nicely into my next question, which is what are my favorite tropes? If I dislike yandere, then what do I like? I really like forbidden romance. I'm a sucker for it, it's cute, 2 characters who want to be together but can't. Love it. It also is really nice to see healthy relationships in that way. I also really like the damsel in distress trope, surprisingly. Not the classical, oh I can't do nothing damsel, but the someone who just cannot get their ass out of a situation where they really don't want to be, and having to rely on another trope I like, the power of friendship, to get out of it. I also want to write a story with a crouching moron hidden badass, someone who looks very stupid, who acts very stupid, but is actually very, very, very strong. Think Goku, I guess, is a good example. Or Aang from Avatar. Aang from Avatar works. And now that I'm thinking about it, Sans from the game I've been playing, Undertale, actually is one too. So yeah, lots of fun tropes. Next question would be, what is your least favorite audio? The one that I've made? Good question. I don't think I have a least favorite audio. I have audios I'm less content with, but there's no audio I particularly dislike. I enjoy every audio I've made for a different reason, also because I don't really care about trends or tropes that are currently popular. I make what I want to make, and that really helps. Let's just move on to the next question before I think too much about this. Do I listen to my own audios for fun or relaxation? Heavens no, I could never. Don't get me wrong, I'm very happy that you all derive pleasure and relaxation and calm vibes and everything from it, but I could not. I already nitpick my audios too much, and I would just start overthinking it, and as much as I've grown used to hearing myself, I don't really like the sound of my own voice all that much. No, I do not listen to my own audios for fun. I wonder, is there anyone who does that in the audio roleplay community? I don't think so. I'll have to ask around. Next question is one that I'll have to think about again. Which D&D spell would I like to learn IRL? This is actually a really hard question because there's many spells. I would like Mage Hand, Mending, Prestidigitation. All of the utility spells would be really useful. Create or destroy water because I would never have to be wet. I can just destroy the water on my own clothes and fill my bottle up. I don't know. I don't want anything big or fancy though. I was thinking at first wish, but I don't know what I would wish for. And then I was thinking time stop, but that's really way too short. All in all, I have no clue. What spell would you guys like? Because for me, I don't want any of the combat spells. I think I will go with Prestidigitation. It's just very useful. And then another D&D question, which is, what is your favorite D&D class? This is gonna be a bit of a cop-out, but everything that uses magic. From the magical rogue subclass Arcane Trickster to paladins and druids, which are half-casters, to full-blown sorcerers and wizards and warlocks. I love it all. Anything that has magic, yes. I don't really like the martials. I think they're a little too simple. Although I'm interested in playing monk at some point. I think bard is also really fun. I have this really interesting bard idea, but I would have to just think about it a bit more. Anything with magic, I can't pick a favorite class. My current favorite would be sorcerer, just because I'm having, a sorcerer that I've been playing for a year, and I really love her. But then I'm also playing currently a warlock and a paladin, and I really like them too. And I have bard ideas, and I have this wizard vague concept, and I have a druid idea, and just anything with magic. The next one, which is my favorite Pokemon. Although I don't really have one favorite Pokemon, I think it would probably be Panthump. I just really like the design and the lore is nice and spooky, but I also really like Pokemon like Mimikyu, Sinistea, Absol, and Munchlax. Munchlax is adorable. I don't like Snorlax though, which is funny. So yeah, any of those I think, but definitely Panthump is like it's just my baby. I like it. I really like it. The next question would be, what is your favorite genre? Well, for those who don't know me, it's fantasy. Though if you take one look at my channel, you should know that fantasy is my #1 genre. I love it, it's fun, it's entertaining to make, there's so many options, there's magic, there's dragons, there's creatures, I love it. I also can enjoy a good pinch of sci-fi, though a little less, and a good pinch of romance. But yeah, I keep coming back to fantasy, it's just awesome. Next one, what is my favorite accent to hear, and what is my favorite accent to use in videos? To listen to, I really enjoy Southern European accents. Italian, Spanish, Greek, all of it, it just makes me very happy. It sounds really beautiful. My favorite accent to use would be my British accent, because I feel most comfortable in it. Though I want to learn more accents, but have just been having a hard time to do so, because, accent's difficult. Though I do enjoy also the accent I have from my D&D character Nifis, which I might use on the channel in the future. Now the next question would be, do you write your own scripts, and if so, how? I do in fact write my own scripts, sometimes. I write a script about 50% of the time, but 50% of my videos are just improvisation videos. Improv to me comes very natural and it's very fun, so that's easy. But how I write scripts is usually following the certain process. I first have an idea. It's often a character or a voice line or a visual, something that I want to use. Then, after that, I try making, a bit of an outline. What would be fun to happen in this story? This outline is very rough. It can be like, it would be fun for them to fall off a cliff, or it would be fun for them to kiss. Anything that is vague and non-real descriptive. After that, I start narrowing it down to, okay, this happens, then that happens, then that happens. So, for example, with the falling off a cliff and they kiss, they are camping, then they are kissing near the cliffside, but they get startled by a deer and they fall off a cliff. It's like, okay, what happens? After that, I write the dialogue with both lines. I write both for the listener and for the speaker, and then I delete the listener stuff and I'm done. The next question would be, what equipment did you use when you were started versus what equipment do I use now? I used to use my phone. and basically no editing software, maybe like an app, I don't really remember, but the quality of my audio was awful back then. I currently use a Blue Yeti mic and Audacity to record my videos. I used to do it on my old PC, but since I recently got my new PC, I've been using that, if we count that as equipment. The next one was based upon a request, which is, am I opening community voice lines, so letting my audio be supplemented by voices from my subscribers? Right now, not yet. I've been considering it, and it sounds like a fun thing to do. However, I would need to figure out how to do it, how to communicate what voice lines are open for audition. I would do auditions. I would have to check microphone quality and have contact with them and send them the script, and it would be a lot of work. So maybe in the future when I have some more time, but as of now, no. It's not an idea I'm opposed to, I just need to figure out how I would actually do it. If I could bring one of my characters into real life, who would it be? I'm just gonna say this outright. Eri. I love her. I think she's fun, I think she's cute, she would be energetic, she would be sweet, she would be very happy to play with everyone, and she would be a very fun character to be around that makes my life a lot more interesting. Although she would also be a handful, as my D&D players can attest. The next question is from Taco, a member in my Discord server, as expected. Would a crocodile make a good pet? As backed up by scientific research called Big Reptile Eat Meat, no, of course not. I don't know who thinks a crocodile would make a good pet, but the amount of food you have to give it, you can't tame it, reptiles can't be tamed, so every time it's hungry it will try to eat you because it's your food. No, that's an awful pet. Why would you want it as a pet? No, stop it. I already gave you my answer in the server. No. Alright, about pets. Number 23. Would you have, or do you have your own pets? Yes, I in fact do. I have a cat called Hiccup and I have a dog called Fuji. You can sometimes hear little cuts in the audio, which is when Fuji's barking, and it's a pain in my ass. Recording takes twice as long if he's in a barky mood. I would also like to have snakes or reptiles as pets in the future. I think they're really cool animals. I like danger noodles a lot, but who knows? For now, I just got a dog and a cat. I'm a normal person. Number 24. What is your favorite fantasy creature? I have two creatures that I really love. One is Fae. I like Fae. I think they're cool. I think the name stealing concept is great. I think the deal making concept is even more awesome. I like them, I like their mythology, I like their origins, I like Fae. End of discussion, they're awesome. Next one though is vampires. As may be obvious thanks to Tale of Blood and a few vampire videos on my channel, I really like vampires. I think they're cool, they're mysterious, they're old and wise and dangerous. It's something I really enjoy. I just really like vampires. Nothing else to say about it. They're very cool creatures. Unless they drink blood without consent, then they're a little more scary. But even then they're interesting to think about. It's just not, you know, I'm not an Edward fan, let's put it like that. The next question would be, who was your biggest inspiration? As I mentioned earlier, I had a friend who does audio roleplays, or did, he's quit now as far as I'm aware, and he was my biggest inspiration at the start. His name was Shiro, and I really enjoyed talking to him, and he really helped me on this way. So yeah, he definitely would have been my biggest inspiration, though I don't know if he makes videos anymore. I don't think so. Number 26. What is my favorite food? My favorite food is stewed pears. I really like stewed pears. My mom makes them during the winter season, and it's basically pears in grape juice, I think it is. It's really sweet, it's nice, it has a little bit of a cinnamon flavor. It's good, I could eat that stuff all day, warm, hot, cold, I don't care. I like them. So yeah, that would definitely be my favorite food. The next question is, do I make my own art? In general, yeah, I make art, but for the channel, not really. Digital art is very time consuming and it takes a lot of energy, so I did it for Tale of Blood, but nothing else, and I'm not planning on doing it for a long while until I figure out digital art. It's difficult. Well, let's get into the next question. Why am I called Lapide Voice? It was as I've recently learned, incorrect translation of the word gemstone in Latin. It means stone, and I've just kind of went with it since. I like the name of it. Lapide sounds, or lapida as I say myself, just sounds very nice. It also means gravestone and fire in, I believe, Hebrew fire? Don't quote me on that, I'll look it up. And gravestone in Italian, and it's inspired the character of a little demoness, which is what I am portraying myself as, and which I'm trying to make a consistent lore for, but I have to narrow it down still. Next question would be, what is your favorite anime or genre of anime? My favorite anime, as might be surprising considering how I love fantasy so much, is called 86. It is a post-apocalyptic mecha anime, which is something I never thought I would enjoy. A friend of mine showed it, being like, hey, this is good, and I reluctantly watched it, and now I've fallen in love with it. My favorite genre of anime, however, is fantasy. It can be anything from more contemporary battle fantasy like Fate to more chill, homey fantasy like Dungeon Meshi. Both I really enjoy, and there's many more anime that I've enjoyed watching, and many more anime that I will enjoy watching. As for the next question, what is my favorite prehistoric animal? Now, don't blame me if I butchered his name, because I actually had to look it up again, and it's been a while since I had my dino period, or prehistoric reptile period, and it's called a Telatoarchon? I will just put up the word on screen and I will put up a picture. I think it looks cool. I think it's an interesting creature. I like aquatic creatures. I think it's very fascinating to look at. And I'm not that much of a reptile creature person, so do not blame me for it, but I did try to do my research for this question. So thank you for making me learn some new stuff. The next question was one I had to think about a lot. What is your favorite aspect of how many people hear my voice, metaphorically and literally? So, literally, when people listen to my voice, the thing is, I don't really care, but I'm very happy about how I can help people. I've seen many comments how videos have cheered them up, or how they brought them some comfort and enjoyment, and that is definitely my favorite aspect of how many people hear my voice, literally. Metaphorically, I wasn't quite sure on what you meant with the question, but if you mean like how many people hear my voice and hear what I have to say, then I suppose it's the ability to spread some love, kindness, and awareness around. I think that this world can be very gloomy, very dark, and I think that some basic human respect and kindness comes a long way. So being able to spread that message throughout my videos sometimes is very nice. Next question. What is your opinion on the platypus? Well, I do enjoy them. Every time I hear platypus, I have to think about Perry from Phineas and Ferb. But yeah, I think I enjoy them. However, I'm not too strongly feeling about them. I think they're cool on a scientific level, and biology is like really fascinating, especially theirs. They're like a mammal, but they lay eggs, and you know, they swim, but they also live on land. It's a very interesting creature, and I wonder what made evolution go, yes, this thing is gonna survive, because I don't know what it is. Alright, one of our last questions. Will you do a face reveal at any point? The answer is very simple. No. I don't think my face or how I look should be of relevance to my content. My content is based around stories and my voice. Thereby, I do not feel comfortable, nor do I see the need to do a face reveal. As much as I understand that you guys are all curious who is the person behind the mic, I don't think that is as relevant to my channel as what the person behind the mic produces. And it's also privacy and safety. I trust most people, but I also know the internet has some really nasty and creepy people on there. Hence my very strong want for privacy. So the last question will be, now that I'm growing, will there be any new things I'm going to do while I get more subscribers? So basically, do I have any plans for the future? I have many plans. I have been working on a series which I have art for and some voice lines, and I need to actually get back into doing that, which will be longer, not as long as Tale of Blood, but longer, which might be a multi-part series actually. I have an idea for a second or maybe even third channels, where I want to focus on different things like art and stories in the more traditional sense with narration. I have you know, maybe I one day want to start streaming with a VTuber model, but those are really expensive and I don't know if I want to do streaming. There's many things I want to try and many things I want to do, but my most concrete plans for now would be definitely the next series coming up, looking into how I can get a Patreon going, because I do really want to get that, but I need to look into what content I want to make for the Patreon, and working on a possibility of a second channel. And with that also little notification out of the way, that was the Q&A. Thank you all so much for participating and sending all these wonderful questions. And if you send any questions after this point, I will answer them truthfully and honestly. And I hope that you're all having a wonderful day or wonderful night. I am going to go off and work on the next video, and I will see you all then. Goodbye!